Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Looks like 1,000 plus hacks, scams, frauds since 2011 in crypto. If you're sick and tired of all this business and the worry that comes along with it, you might want to do what I did. I put part of my XRP at Caleb and Brown, my partner, and I put part of it at another place. I don't mention them together. If you want to open an account where you get free institutional custody, you actually get somebody you can talk to. So, like, let's say somebody hacked your username and password. How would you like it if you had a broker you could talk to and email a person direct and say, hey, I'm worried that my account just got hacked. Lock it down. You can do that on Caleb and Brown. And you get free institutional custody. You get OTC level liquidity. I sleep fine at night now. Go to xrpwealth589.com if you'd like to open an account. It'll forward you to my page on Caleb and Brown. You just click sign up today. We've got a 283 XRP. The markets are still boring right now, but Gemini is starting to get it. How much would $1,000 be worth if invested 1 year ago today? Turns out XRP has the greatest return. You'd have $4,086, folks. Writing's on the wall. Here it is. Look at this from Eleanor Terrett. Spring agenda puts crypto front and center from trading and custody, safe harbor frameworks. We've got a crypto full court press coming in the spring with the SEC. All the tailwinds are there now, folks. Here's more tailwinds. Look at CME Group. August was hot, but the crypto space was hotter. Record 36 billion in OI for crypto futures and options on August 22nd. 1,006 large open interest holders. XRP Sol and Micro Ether futures OI hit all-time highs. Institutional activity is broadening beyond just Bitcoin. The CME setup, folks. I've gotten to where every time I see one of the people that's a part of the Bitcoin Ethereum PR machine saying the typical Bitcoin Ethereum, I just retweet it and put XRP period. Because that's what I hear when I hear them talking, because I know how these people operate.
$2 billion kind of made a move out of Bitcoin into ETH. And that might have spooked the market a bit, but for reasons I don't think really matter long term. At this point in time, if you're a Bitcoin investor, even as an individual or an institution, price volatility is baked in. It's just, you've got to deal with it. And that's created a new narrative that I'm certainly getting involved in.
Oh, yeah, I know you're getting involved in the narrative.
If I have a 5% weighting in a fund of BTC and Bitcoin, and it's just sitting there and it goes through its price moves as it always has, a lot of my other assets, for example, stocks that pay dividends or bonds that pay interest, they sit there and generate money on a monthly basis. Why can't I do the same thing with my Bitcoin? And so a lot of people say, well, that's not the pure reason you own Bitcoin. You want price appreciation, very much like gold. But on the other hand, if you start thinking about what you can do, think about it this way. My two largest positions are BTC and ETH.
Ah, there it is. Oh, it's nauseating. This isn't. CoinDesk decided to pick up. They never give me any credit where credit's due. I found that video the other day of one of Ripple's attorneys that had worked on the SEC case, and how they credited the XRP Army and John Deaton. So CoinDesk covers it, but of course they don't reference my tweet or anything. That's fine. I'm used to these people trying to act like I don't exist. If you were them, you would act like I don't exist also, because I call them Bitcoin Desk, which is the truth. Bitcoin Ethereum Desk, whichever one you like. XRP Army credited with helping Ripple tilt the case against the SEC. You're darn right. Now, this is what I talked about in my group in my last video. And it's a very important thing to make. this was these guys. This is, you know, I've told you for years, the PR machine is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then they added Solana and maybe one or two others. But a part of that PR machine is to do a media blackout on XRP, and then also Ethereum Classic, because it's a fork of Ethereum. They don't want to talk about Ethereum Classic, but there's something about Ethereum Classic that's interesting. I don't own any of it, by the way. It has a 210 million supply, whereas the actual Ethereum has an unlimited supply and disguised whales across the board who I believe control the whole network. But this is what these guys were saying back in 2018. This was about the time that they were also teaching you how to buy XRP on CNBC. It was Brian Kelly of CNBC. They were talking Ethereum Classic up until I guess they were told not to anymore, just like they were told not to cover XRP anymore.
Who's in Boston at the Canaccord Genuity Growth Conference. BK, I'm sorry that you're not here for Tim's jokes firsthand, because they really are spectacular tonight.
I mean, I can barely hold it together over here.
Believe me, we're having our own trouble here, as you saw at the very top of the program. What's up with Ethereum Classic right now?
So it's been up, as you said, about 30% over the last month. Really, the driver are two things. Coinbase and Robinhood are adding it to their platform. So this is the first time that the retail investor will kind of get a real easy way to get into Ethereum Classic. So Coinbase added it to their institutional side. I believe over the next week or so, they're going to be adding it to their retail side of their platform. And that's what's driving it.
So, and this, you know, you've seen Tom Lee, ex-JP Morgan Tom Lee, no coincidence there, doing his Ethereum Roadshow, where they prop him up and put him on every single CNBC show that you can think of. This was him back in 2018. Ethereum Classic, which Lee calls a hybrid of Bitcoin and Ethereum, could rise $60 from $25. And then he goes on in this one, says two things. Or he says this: Lee predicts Ethereum Classic will soar above 90% to reach $60. And here in the same article, and Ripple, or XRP, blew both away by soaring well over 35,500% to 230 at the end of 2017. And at the same time, almost simultaneously, they blacked out Ethereum Classic and XRP for the last, 7 years? Ripple expands RLUSD stablecoin access to African institutions through partnerships with Chipper, Cash, Valor, and Yellow Card. Onward and upward, folks. I had to make this point. This is Grayscale talking about their Grayscale Dogecoin Trust. And I said here, I'd pay money to sit in on a meeting with a financial advisor explaining to a couple why they should allocate a percentage of their savings to Dogecoin or a cartoon monkey NFT. I'd pay money. I would literally pay money to be able to sit in on that. I'd pay extra to be able to record it and put it out on X. Please, any financial advisor that's going to give that advice, let me know. Now, you're going to feel a lot dumber after watching this clip, but the show must go on. Listen to this.
XRP is the same. They are, in my mind, essentially tech startups that are trying to solve real-world problems. XRP is trying to solve be a competitor to SWIFT, so to move huge tranches of money as a global payments network for banks. Okay, and it's going to be far more efficient and all this, and that's great, and it may save the problem. But when you start getting into the world of CEOs and companies and boards, you now have the counterparty risk of what if somebody's fraudulent inside of that company? What if Russia wants to move large sums of money on the XRP network and it's a centralized American business? The American government can bring pressure to bear on that XRP entity, which is in the United States, to influence. But with Bitcoin, there is no entity, there is no CEO, there is nobody that could be manipulated or pressured to change the issuance of the tokens, right? There's no inside deals to be done because there is nobody at the wheel. It is completely trustless. Bitcoin is decentralized and everything else. And yes, can you make money? Will XRP holders get rich? I don't know. I'm not anti-XRP. I hope everybody gets rich. All I'm saying is I don't invest in tech startups. because I don't know Brad Garlinghouse. I don't know his management team. I don't know all the details. I went to Parity Network and it's just been manipulated.
You don't know a lot.
Or pressured to change the issuance of the tokens, right? There's no inside deals to be done because there is nobody at the wheel. It is completely trustless. Bitcoin is decentralized and everything else. And yes, can you make money? Will XRP holders get rich? I don't know. I'm not anti-XRP. I hope everybody gets rich. All I'm saying is I don't invest in tech startups because I don't know Brad Garlinghouse. I don't know his management team. I don't know all the details. I went to Paris Blockchain Week just recently and I sat and listened to the heads of some of the biggest banks in the world saying, look, what you guys in the audience don't understand.
Guess what? Brad Garlinghouse has been meeting with them individually for years.
Is that, you know, your blockchain's running on 10 decimal points. Our banking systems run on 4. But you can't even talk to our banking systems at the moment. Yet you're here pumping the price of your tokens. This is at a crypto summit, right? And their heads of Satanda Banker, they're saying, until you guys actually learn how to integrate, all this stuff about integrating with the global banking system is not going to happen. And I only learned that by going to Paris and sitting in a boring fucking session with bankers to actually see that there's all these real world risks, but the average Australian's just looking at their phone at the pub going, what do you reckon, mate? XRP, you reckon it's going to $10? Do you reckon it's going to $1,000? They've got no clue how to value this. They're just like betting on horses.
Yes.
And like, just one quick example, give you an example. My mate Tommy was a big XRP fan. He goes, people reckon it's going to $10,000. And I said, let's explore this just for a quick moment, right? What is it now? $3, okay? So if you add up all the XRP tokens and multiply it by $3, it gives it a market cap of $150 billion. That's what the project is worth. I'm like, okay, is that a lot or is that a little? I don't know. So we did a little bit of research. Well, what's MasterCard and Visa worth? Right. They're two huge payments companies, and they're combined at about $1 trillion. So if XRP became the same value as Visa and MasterCard, the biggest retail payment distribution networks in the world, it's at 150 billion. So they have to go up 6 times to become worth $1 trillion, or 7 times to be worth $1 trillion. So that means the price goes from $3 to $21. Right?
Yeah.
And online at the moment, on YouTube, everyone's going, XRP to 10,000. I'm like, bro, if it gets to $21, it is worth Visa and MasterCard combined.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, well, what about the global payments network, SWIFT, right? What's SWIFT worth? They move more money than Visa and MasterCard. And so we went into ChatGPT, okay, how much money goes through Visa? How much money goes through MasterCard? How much money goes through SWIFT? And it was amazing because through SWIFT, it's $5 trillion a day, which dwarfed Visa, MasterCard. So we did some numbers. And then we sort of saw our way that maybe XRP, if you apply the same metrics, the long story short was it might get to, I think we got to a number of $20 or $25 was as far as we could sort of get. And people are talking about $10,000. Just absolutely no logical research on how to, you know what I mean, like value these things. So they're project.
Mindless. Okay. We're going to go in DAIXRP.com. There's one thing I'm going to show you, how these hedge fund insiders are thinking in crypto, how they approach it. What is the way they're thinking? Go to DAIXRP.com to join the Patreon. If you'd rather join through, in fact, by the way, that sound you heard while you were listening to that of me, I was playing something on my phone. I'm trying to find a good audio book to listen to when I go on a walk. Trying to find one. But anyway, go to DAIXRP.com to join the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these YouTube videos. Or you can hit the subscribe button on X. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family. Away we go.